down a little so I can hear myself think. Hello. Cool, I'll just pop that down there. Okay, so the four things. Firstly, runes. You are going to need a decent collection of runes because the stronger summons, they cost varying amounts of FP and HP together. So you're going to need to be on a high enough level to have increased your mind and vigor enough to be able to summon whatever the strongest summon that you have is. The next thing that you're going to want is a mixed physic flask. In a battle, the extra heal that you get or the buffs that you get could make quite a big difference. So you want to make sure that you grab the mixed physic and grab whatever tiers you want for it. The next one is flasks. If you don't have enough flasks to regen your FP and HP, you may struggle to summon your entire team of 6, and you may want to factor this in to the team that you build as well. You might find that based on the route that you can do, you can't summon 2 tier 4s and 4 tier 1s or tier 2s because it's too expensive. You might need to cheapen some down, drop a tier 4 to a tier 3. Finally, it's your team. So in the rule set, because we are going for a very beginner-friendly run, I've put the limit to only having 1+6 summons. So you'll typically build your team around a single tier 6 summon, someone very powerful, sort of a cornerstone of your team. Quite often, a tier 4 summon is going to fill that slot, but depending on your run, it may be someone else. So there are a few valid options. There are very few remembrance evolutions that you can accomplish in this time. If you're a speedrunner, you can probably do most of them. But for the average person, ones that are quite achievable are Godric, Morgott, Renala, and as I've mentioned, I am going to just upload a little update after this that people are free to grab if they want or totally ignore. It won't matter. Everything will be compatible. And it's just going to change Regal Ancestor Spirit evolution requirement to something more achievable in 2 hours. So you'll have 4 potential tier 4 Evo options there. Other options you've got are just tier 4s that don't evolve. So you've got Miranda Blossom, Putrid Erdtree Avatar is a great one, or Erdtree Avatar are just a few that come to mind. And finally, there are a number of other very good options as well from other tiers. So, for example, the Crucible Knight or the Ancient Hero of Zaymor are great tier 3s. And there are a couple of tier 1s that evolve at +6 or +4 or 5 that get really quite strong. So those would be your Ancestral Followers evolve at +6 to become pretty insane. The Pages also evolve to strengthen the High Page. The Strays evolve to have 4 Strays at +4, I believe it is. They become quite strong when there's 4 of them all attacking. Miranda Blossom, Land Squirts might surprise you. Yeah, so there's a range of different decent options that you might want to try out, and then fill the rest of your team in with whatever works. All right, that pretty much sums up what I wanted to run through at the start for what we're going for and the theory behind the run. So we'll jump on in to a run. As you know, you've got 2 hours to build a team out. So you can pick whatever class you want that's going to work with the strategy, but I usually go with Wretch because of the cost. Now, one last thing that I did want to note here is in your seamless settings. One last thing that I just want to show. In your seamless settings, there are these settings files. Just leave these as default. In your run, they're not going to have an effect, but if things are weird when we do go in for the battles, things could be out of sync. So just leave these ones as default. We'll be making all our changes in the Lord of Ashes settings. Okay, beautiful. Well, let's jump on into a run. 2 hours. Hopefully, I'm going to finish a little bit before that, and we will see how we go. So we're going to do PvP Core as the name for this one. And I am going to go for the 3 cracked pots in this beginner-friendly version of the tournament. all enemies are a 100% catch chance, so that sort of removes the trade-off for whether you want to go for a better pot, because cracked pots are going to do everything that you need. All right, let's jump on in and we can show an example of a core route that'll get you set up with everything that you need. One other change that I have implemented, which may change what you want to start with, is you can now summon from the very beginning of the game. So you don't need the Spirit Calling Bell anymore. You can summon straight away. Now that could mean that you've got Fanged Imp straight away. However, in the current build, that's not really going to matter. Sure, maybe you could beat the Grafted Scion, but that's not really going to be super helpful because it doesn't give a crazy amount of runes and it won't be catchable because you won't have chosen pots. So there's sort of no point in a future update. I'm probably going to try and implement something where you would have a chance to catch and do different things. But right now it's a pick between either you want summon straight away or you want the ability to catch. All right, so let's dash on through. To start, the route's going to focus on. We'll pop that one there, so we got them. Just going and getting the mixed physic flask, basically. Grabbing a few runes along the way. But yeah, that's basically what we're going to be starting with. We will grab those as well. Yeah, okay. So this start bit's always going to be relatively similar. And I'm going to want to throw on my cracked pots as well, actually. Which I should have done. Alright, cool. So now I'm geared up and ready to do a little bit of catching. And basically what I'm going for here is building a team around the core sort of essential points that we need. So there's not going to be too much specific running out of our way to get any summons. So just keeping it really core as like a bare minimum that you could put together if you haven't got a lot of time to do a bunch of runs and do a bunch of refinement. So we'll sell that and that. Purchase the crafting kit and the torch. Cool. All right. Let's go get ourselves a horsey. I mean, apparently this method is faster, but it just doesn't really feel like it's a whole lot faster, but I'm sure it is. So don't mind just grabbing a couple of root resin to support me throughout the run as well. Okay. Now we get all of the seamless items. Nice. Okay. All right. So we can head on. Okay, and for your crafting, as you will want to be getting pots on the fly as quickly as you can. Shops are going to have your fire pots so that you can grab them there. Otherwise, you're going to want to grab the fire butterflies and mushrooms along the way. So you see there's some mushrooms here on the way that you can grab. So just grab what you can as you go. You'll see I grabbed that golden seed there because we are going to want to upgrade things. Now, if you want, grab this stone sword key. Stone sword keys are going to give you access to a number of um, to quote Aggie, it's like 0.2% faster on an incline and worse in any other situation. That is very funny and great to know. I had thought that while running up hills, I definitely noticed like, okay, I'm moving a bit quicker. But in other scenarios, it was like, I don't know, it doesn't really feel like it. But yeah, there you go, hey. Okay, these ones, the best runes are sort of there on that line. And that one's like a 1. So, you can just grab those few as your best options. You don't want to waste too much time trying to gather stuff. So, especially because some of our rune drops later on are just going to be a lot more valuable. So, all right. So, Exalted Flesh, I do grab here. You can use that in PvP for a little bit of a power boost for your guys. Okay. Not going to bother with the second one for now. It just takes a little bit too long. And going to skip that because I don't need to come back. So in your route, just make sure you pay attention to where you might want to come back to at different points and grab those graces. And otherwise, you can ignore the rest of them. So this guy has another cracked pot that you can grab. With the way that it's working now, if you're picking the cracked pots at the start, probably skip even going to that guy and just use Kale, who has 3 more. You're going to end up with 6 cracked pots, which is probably going to do you for most of the run anyway. So if you want to cut out individual merchant visits, then go for it, because you're probably going to have enough with the 100% catch rate. My runs are the not unreasonable chance of me coming back here, so I typically do grab that one as a good little waypoint to head into Caelid. And I'll be doing some more runs after this core run that'll showcase, some of the setup from this and how it's built to enable you for other specific things you might want to accomplish. Now I can never bloody remember. I think it's literally like this one. Yeah, the 5. That's like I think the only one really worth grabbing there. There may be something else okay, but again, we just really don't want to be wasting too much time. So I'm only grabbing the runes that are basically exactly along the way and ignoring everything else. Okay, so we'll grab our mixed physic here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to head on through Fort Height. As I was mentioning before, there's a lot of setup that's going to enable things for other team builds. So we are going to be grabbing the Dectus half. May come back here to teleport. So I'm going to grab that to teleport to Beast Clergyman. So I'm going to grab that grace. The other valuable thing that it gives us is an extra golden seed, because as mentioned, flasks are one of those key things that you're going to want to get. Now, depending on your route and what you're looking for, you may or may not want to grab the tiers up here. May or may not be useful for you at all. But it's relatively on the route to Fort Height, so grab his butterflies. This one doesn't have any cracked pots, so potentially not as worth visiting. That's not where I wanted to go. I used to always run to that one, so it was just a bit of habit, but eventually I got to the point where I just went, I never ever die here, so screw it, I'm not going to go there. But I wasted the time anyway, so I should have. Now I'm going to die, and yeah, that'll be what I get, I suppose. Okay, so what we want to do here is go and grab the Dectus half. Keep an eye on these guys in case they're throwing an ill-timed fire pot into one of those barrels, because it will kill you dead. Okay, and I like to keep an eye on down here to see if I'm being followed by anyone. Right now, yep, we got old mate Commoner coming up, so I just know that got to be quick with what I'm doing, but it's relatively simple. Go here, grab this, then I am literally just going to quit out to get rid of him. If no one follows you, you can be out of combat there, and then you can just immediately warp elsewhere. But when you quit out, the in-game timer stops running, so you're not really losing anything doing that. Okay, so we've got the Dectus half. Next thing we're going to do is head into Weeping, because Weeping is going to give us quite a few things that we want. Okay, so the first thing that we want is going to be the flail, because the flail is going to be incredibly valuable in just a little bit. So we're going to head down here and grab that, and I might even catch one of these guys while I'm at it. Let's go around here. This is quite time consuming. Okay, throw pot. Thank you very much. Very time consuming. So what I usually do, and I just forgot to this time because streaming, half brain, you know, all that jazz, is I will grab one of the Godric soldiers straight out when I'm running away from Carle. So I'll typically just grab one of them on the run. And that way I've got a Godric soldier to summon right there. I summon them to distract him while I just go and grab the flail. But that was a little bit inefficient. So there's a bit of a time save that you can do over me. Now, old mate bot can be useful. It is 10 mushrooms, but he does talk for a little while, so it's a bit of a time cost. But yeah, 10 mushrooms straight from him can definitely be helpful. Just watch that guy, because he can be a bit of a jerk. Okay, and we're going to head on into Weeping to grab the first member of the team. So the Godric soldiers are just, they might help you save a little bit of time, specifically grabbing the flail, and just having somebody to summon when catching like the pages and things like that. So I'll just do a little bit of setup here. Pop that there. Beautiful. Yeah, but the first one that's actually going to be a part of this team that I'm building is going to be the strays, who I will catch on my way down into Weeping. And you will have noticed that I did grab the Grace for Northagil Lake, or at least I hope I did, and didn't trip out and do something dumb. Yep, I did. Cool. Beautiful. So the reason I do that is because we are going to be going back and getting patches, because we want his gold pickle foulfoots. Now this can just be a little bit sus because of that explosion. So I typically just hold back just a little bit away from that barricade in order to not be murdered. So I'm not going to grab that in this run. There are other runs where I will grab that for other routes, but right now I'm not going to bother. But yeah, we'll run through maybe like 3 or 4 routes over the next 2 weeks, so that you've got quite a few ideas on what you can do. Beautiful. We grab them strays. Some routes might use the Morning Star as well, so I'll just grab that to as a reminder that that is there. We'll head up here where we can buy another cracked pot. This guy's also got a really good set of armor that you can buy relatively cheaply as well. So this is a pretty good merchant to go to, especially when you've got a little bit more runes, just for your own survivability. Okay, so I'll just sell a little bit more by, we're gonna grab this one, this one. Okay, apparently I had a lot of slots free, and then I'll just grab some trousers, why the hell not. Okay, jump onto torrent, and we're gonna head up. And we're going to go to our first catacombs. So catacombs are obviously essential for you to level up your team. What I've done in this route is I have tried to basically set it up so that you can visit the least number of catacombs and get the most upgrades. So in this route, we only visit 3 catacombs and 1 hero's grave, and that actually gives you enough upgrade materials to get an entire team of 6 to +6. Obviously, the limitation that is beginner run is only 1 +6, because otherwise we'll run into optimization issues with people, advanced players who've got heaps of time figuring out how to. I'm just going to sit here as well because I'm a little bit low. Figuring out how to get multiple leveled up, remembrance bosses, and yeah, we just want to keep it really beginner. But you would have enough glove warts to upgrade an entire team, to +6, and that team would be consisting of 2 tier 3s or 4s, and 4 tier 1s or 2s. Okay, so these guys can just be a little bit of a jerk, as I'm sure you know. Like that. Go, buddy. Take the aggro. Thanks, fellas. Alright, so in this one, you're going to want to run all the way through, so just drop that. Okay, I'm just going to collect all of them as we go, because you'll see here, we're going to get a Ghost Glovewort 2 for our troubles, along with Grave Glovewort 1s and 2s. Okay, just make sure you grab everything on your way through. And then we're just going to grab this one here. Just watch out for that jerk, because he's an asshole. Alright. That is all we need from these catacombs. Okay, so we're going to head back now. We've grabbed some upgrade materials. The next thing that we're going to want to do is grab some flask upgrades. So we're going to head back here. And we're going to do a little bit of a run because we can get 3 sacred tears just in Weeping here, which is pretty great. So the run here is just up here into the Ailing village to start. Okay, you want to head up here to the right, which is where the church is. Just grab Sacred Tier number 1, watching out for the giant rat. Okay, and then you sort of want to head this way. I don't think we have your game audio. My apologies. Allow me to just quit out. Thanks for letting me know, Carrot. Let's see. Properties. Alright, has that worked? No, it has not. Why Why is it not finding the executable? Oh, that is really weird. Okay, it might have just been set to too quiet. Alright, how's that? Have you got the game audio now? I've had to play with audio because apparently my voice was way too quiet before, and yeah, so I've done a little bit of playing. Obviously, I must have tuned it too quiet, so let me know if you can hear that. So there is a mushroom in there. Did score ×3 mushrooms there, which is pretty great. Okay, so we've grabbed one sacred tier. We're going to pop up there to grab the next one. However, before we get up there, we are going to go and do this second catacombs. We are only looking for one thing from this catacombs, and it is the ghost glove warp. We can grab the other ones on the way, but specifically, we're just looking for the ghost glove warp. Can hear it now. Nice. Game audio is a bit quiet. Yeah, that should be okay. I can turn it up a little bit when I teleport. Okay, so all we really care about in here, we can run through here and grab that. I can grab that one behind me on the way back. There's also this one here. Probably don't need to go and grab that one because you'll have plenty of tier 1s. Oops. Okay, and then we just head back out because that was literally the only one we wanted. Okay. So that's what. So now we have got 2 ghost 1s, 2 ghost 2s. Okay, I'll just sit here. Okay. And we're going to head up to this church now. Okay, and at this church we want a couple of things. We want to grab the blood grease right here. It's very, very important. Will save you a lot of time. And the sacred tier. Okay, so that's 2 sacred tiers we've gotten there. So that's our 3rd total. And now we're just going to head down to this church as well. It's going to bring us to +4 flasks in a relatively quick amount of time. Okay, we're going to get the second members of our team here. So make sure we've got our pots ready to go. We just want to get this guy's attention. He's weird sometimes. Sometimes he'll aggro the moment you walk down the stairs, and other times he will not. Okay, summon Barry and Steven. Do your thing, boys. And get ready to toss the pot. That should be good. Beautiful. Thank you, pages. Onwards to the church. And note the Weeping Everjail here, where you could grab yourself a Ancient Hero of Zaymor if you can beat it. Okay, and our next sacred tier. So what I might do here is actually level up the flasks, and I'll just turn up the game audio a little more. Cool, there we go. So now we got some decent decent flasks. We'll just make sure we got a nice little bit of a split here. Okay, so now I have got pages, I have got strays. The next one that I'm going to grab, so these are just, it's a little team made up of the easy to find guys that I have been surprised by while playing. So the next one that I'm going to grab is the marionettes, because I do like the marionettes. Okay. Oh shit. I don't understand why you died. What? Literally nothing was attacking you at all. Cool. So he's gonna run around. So yeah, you'll do a lot better than this. But 3 marionettes. And then you know what? I'm in sort of a rough place. So when in doubt, quit out. Give yourself a bit of time, you know. You don't want these to be too stressful. You know, so if you're doing something like just try and accomplish something and then quit out. Take a moment. Think. Think about what you're going to do next. Read your notes. I've got notes over here on my left screen. You know, we want to avoid, the idea is for it to be fun. So, yeah, okay. Next up, I've already got 3 members of my team. I've tackled a couple of catacombs, grabbed the pages, marionettes, 4th church, and so next up is another catacombs for me. So I'm going to be going to Caelid Catacombs next. As I mentioned before, I like to grab that. Grace up here by the Summon Water Village outskirts so that I can get into Caelid relatively quick. There may be a faster way to get here. I know there's some teleporters into Caelid, so I haven't actually worked on refining. Craft up some more pots so we can catch. Tibia Mariner is a phenomenal summon. Used to not work, but in one of the latest updates we have got it working, which is extremely exciting. It is phenomenal, however, incredibly expensive. If you can pull off actually summoning Tibia Mariner in one of these runs, well, props to you, because that is not an easy feat. Okay, there's no sacred tier up there in this church, so unless you want to grab Anastasia as part of your run, which is definitely a very valid choice, she's quite strong but a little bit squishy, that's absolutely an option. We've got a Putrid Erdtree avatar down here that's relatively easy to beat as well. And along with that, and so what I might do is I'll actually grab this Grace, because I may come back for it. You're going to want, in your route somewhere, you're going to want a rune arc, and there is a rune arc on the routes that head over that cliff there. Now, I can't remember which one of these is actually the good one. Okay, the 2 on the left if you're just wanting to maximize your time. This shows you, like, nothing that I'm doing is incredibly optimized or efficient, right? Like, none of it's speed runner capacity, and it's still very doable to get a decent team within the time, right? So you'll probably find after you've like just done a couple of runs that it's not as brutal as you initially would have thought it would be. Sometimes I freak out there that the game's gonna just go, okay, yep, you died because you were actually falling that whole time, which has happened a couple of times. Ooh, there is a rotten Miranda Blossom right there, which is good to know. Okay, so I am heading through to the Dragon Communion church up here. Actually, is this one the church or is it like the cathedral? I think it might be the cathedral. But yeah, heading here to go to the third catacombs that we want to use, which is Caelid Catacombs. The reason that we go for Caelid Catacombs is because they have 3 Grave Glovewort 3s and 4s, along with Ghost Gloveworts 3s and 4s. So we're able to get a lot of really valuable stuff from that one catacombs. And we've got here a little shortcut route that I'll show you to get down there. The old route that I did ran all the way around, but there's actually quite a quick way to get down. So you just go, can't remember, over here. So you don't go out that exit that I just did. You go over this way. Okay, and you find this. Drop down there. Come over to here. Now, you can mess this up. Think I messed it up? I messed it up. Whoopsies. Anyway, if you don't suck like me, you do that really, really easily. I think I just was like, oh, you're streaming, make sure you do it right. And then I like started it differently to how I always have. I'm usually sprinting in there. Then I just jump off. Well, no, run off. And then jump onto the route. And then keep going down. But yeah, anyway, that's what happens when you're streaming. Fortunately, you have all the time in the world to do your runs. So you won't have that pressure. That was weird. He just crashed into the cliff. Cool. Okay, onto this one. Over to here, down here. Onto that one, and into here, and then the crow doesn't even aggro, which is nice. Okay, I'm probably going to grab 2 summons while I'm in here. I think. In the latest update, Rot has been drastically nerfed because Rot was fucking insane. It was dealing, that's odd that actually didn't deal enough damage, but anyway. It was dealing 84% of, like, Radahn's health, for example. It was just insane, so Rot for the little guys has been nerfed down to what you could typically do. I'm going to run around over here, and then I can go around and get behind him. Actually, killing this guy is going to take a really long time, isn't it? Maybe I'm not going to grab that guy, actually. Jeez. Yeah, he's strong. Might actually end up leaving that guy alone. But that guy does a much stronger Rot, is what I was sort of getting at there. With the new update, summons deal damage to patches after he surrenders. That isn't anything that I've done, or anything that I have changed. Different summons just do that. So I believe the pages will keep firing, while some other summons don't. They will stop. Either way, I've found it's kind of quicker to... Hey, I died. Kind of quicker to just kill patches and take his bell bearing and use him in the shop. So that's what I've actually been doing. But yeah, otherwise you're gonna want to unsummon your dudes, kind of semi-quickly. All right. So that's all of the upgrade materials that we were looking for. No, it's not. Dang it. My apologies, guys. There is one more thing that you absolutely need. Otherwise it was a waste of time coming here because you haven't got everything you needed. I just forgot. Okay, don't go that way because that guy pops up and blocks you perfectly. The other one that you want to get is just down in here. So this invisible wall, and I recommend you go around to the right, which means you pick up the Miranda Sprout ashes. Okay, usually I have a torch, but I haven't done that. Oh, cool. Alright, I'm just going to leave those there because it's kind of irrelevant, those 800 runes. But yeah, so you can do that a lot better. Run in, grab those. Go anti-clockwise instead of clockwise. You'll grab the ashes last because it has a slow pickup animation and halts you from grabbing the other two glove wards. So you can do that, and then our catacombs there are done. Next up, I'm going to go to Rodrika because I want to start upgrading my summons. Okay, and the way we're going to do that, or the fastest way that we've got to do that, is we're just going to run around Stormvale Castle. The other option to get it semi-quickly is to, if like Margits are part of your route, then you're not really going out of your route direction at all, unless you want upgraded summons before you fight Margit, which personally I would recommend because it makes it go a lot faster. There's a pro speedrunner strat where you just jump across there, and I've tried it about 20 times and failed every time. So I don't bother with that anymore. I'm going to try and practice it in my own time to get better. But right now it's just showing you that a total scrub can build up a pretty decent team in this rule set within the time limit, pretty easily. Yes, so you can also go into Stormvale Castle, beat Margit, and grab the Chrysalid's Memento. Give that to Rodrika, and she will also go to the Round Table Hold. But the fastest way is to just run around the outskirts here, even faster if you can do the speedrun jump, and sit at the Grace at the end. That will teleport Rodrika straight into the Round Table Hold, and you can start upgrading your team. Yeah, super fair carrot, yeah. Okay, so rest here. Melanie will come and say hello and take you to the Round Table Hold.
To determine if you had, it seems torrent, whereas I'm in. There is, but I can take gathering plate. Very well. Let my hand.
Okay, so to get Rodrika ready, you just go and talk to Hugh about Rodrika. Cool, go talk to Rodrika and let her know that her calling has been found.
A pleasure to me. My name isn't this the round table. I never knew, although I'm still looking. You're telling I don't believe. If I do, I suppose I'll ask. Certainly, I know I can tell.
Right, and then go back and tell Hughie boy that she wants training. He's a stubborn bastard, so you got to tell him twice. And then just rest or teleport out, come back, whatever works for you. So I typically, what I have been doing is actually teleporting back out here. No, actually. I've been playing with a couple of different options. You can just rest at the Grace in here, otherwise it's teleporting out and doing a few different things. But I am going to upgrade right now, just to speed up the killing of patches. Yes, and then the other thing that you'll want to do is just sell your sell some of the runes that you've picked up in order to have enough to actually upgrade. Which I'm not going to have a whole lot, but the ones that I want to start with are the pages. So we can get them up a little bit to help us with the patches fight. Not as much as usual. Okay, so actually, yeah, I take back what I said. I do like going here first because you can get a whole heap of runes from Fort Feroth. So yeah, actually do this first. So just teleport out to here. Don't go back in. Teleport out to here. Head into Caelid. Apologies, I'm a little bit rusty. I've been focused on the update and getting things ready for the tournament. So I've had to take, I don't know, I think it's been a week and a half since I've actually played and done one of these runs. But this video is going to include all the essential points, and anything I miss up I'll typically remember and tell you so that you can refine it in your own run. Okay, so grab another golden seed. We can also head back to Rodrika's shack, or Stormhill's shack, and we can grab the golden seed that she leaves behind as well, to get ourselves another flask to ensure that we can summon our whole team. Yep, he's actually going to aggro onto me, which, depending on your timing and how you do stuff, that may or may not happen, but is typically not a huge deal. Now maybe there's like a shortcut method to get down there that you can add in. I don't know. I always just run around. Again, this is just showing that there's genuinely plenty of time to put something decent together. So, hello, Prislets. How you going? You're participating in the event, hey? Ah, who are you? What's your Discord name? If you don't mind sharing, so that I know which one you are. I shouldn't need that. I used to always grab it, but again, another one of those things. I've done it like so many times, never died, so decided not to bother. That said, totally nearly died there, lol. Ah, yes, you're the one that I don't understand how to say that name. I'm going to assume that translates to Prislets. But good to see you. Alright, and then run around here. Okay, so we're going to head through here. No need to actually grab the grace here, because we're not going to come back to this point, and we're going to use the little shortcut between Fort Feroth to tackle Grail and the Putrid Avatar, which are basically our two rune dumps that we're going to be getting to make sure that we can reach the level we want to summon who we need. Okay, so we're just going to take the Wellspring, the Spirit Spring jump up here. I have some pretty big plans for the Spirit Ashes. Love it, Prislets. Love it. Yeah, one of the things I'm genuinely most excited for is seeing what teams people put together, because there's a lot of opportunity for variability here, like a lot. So, okay. So now we're going to run on through and grab this little rune dump and a very useful, well, yeah, this place has got a lot. It's got a crap ton of runes. I made a mistake. Alright, so probably get poison here, which is fine. Not really a big deal. So yes, we get some runes here. We get the other half of the Dectus medallion, and we get Radigan's Saw Seal, which is going to be very useful. You're going to want things that help you get the stats you need, and that one is really good because it's going to give you a boost to your vigor. And another one might be Godric's Great Rune, for example, can be quite useful. Okay, so this rat can be pretty dangerous, but he is guarding something pretty useful. Okay, then you want to jump through there, so that gold rune 12 will get you a long way to what you want. Okay, go around here, grab Radagon Saw Seal and quit out so that you lose everybody's aggro, and then you can just teleport to where you want, and that's where it's really efficient for doing Rodrika this way. You don't go back in, you just teleport out, you do this. Once you get here, you're going to teleport anyway. Teleport back to Round Table Hold. You'll have all the runes that you need to take someone to a decent level, and then go and kill patches really quickly. So, I wanted to ask. No worries. Go for it. Okay, so I'm going to teleport on to the Table of Lost Grace. Okay. I'll sell that here, because why not? Sell. See, we get 7,500. Like, look at all that you get, right? Completely forgot about upgrading. Yeah, look, you'd have a team filled with tier 4s, but on level 1 they'll get beaten by a set of tier 1s on level 6. So, yep, you're definitely going to want to factor that into your route. Okay, so I'm going to take those. These guys are going to be in my team, basically. I know that, so I can actually just upgrade a few more of my guys. These guys. Okay, but then what I want to do is I need to make sure I'm going to get 200 HP and 160 FP, because if I don't, I actually can't summon those guys. So that's really important for who you're grabbing and when. So mind, you'll see there I am in a bit of trouble because I started upgrading other guys. I'm not actually going to get to enough runes. And that's, but actually, so, inventory. Anyway, I should be able to take patches. It should be fine. But yeah, just watch that if you're trying to like maximize the speed at which you could kill patches, for example. Take note of what summons you've got at what level and what they cost, because certain evolutions and changes is going to make that a lot harder. Did I? This, you can go back and watch this video if you want at any point, because it shows you all of them. But the 3 catacombs, well, okay, there's 3 catacombs and 1 hero's grave that you need to go to in order to get an entire team to +6. Obviously, in our rule set, we're only allowing 1 summon to go to +6 in order to keep it very beginner friendly. But yes, your entire team could go to +6 with this. So the ones that you need are Impaler's Catacombs in Weeping, the Tombs Ward Catacombs in Weeping, so those 2 in Weepings, Caelid Catacombs, obviously in Caelid, lol, and then the other one that I use is Oriza Hero's Tomb, I believe. Oriza Hero's Tomb. That one will get you, with all of those, you can get a whole team up to +6s. With 2 of them, I need to get my bloody torch on because I'm sick of the dark. Alright, thank you. Yeah, you can have 2 tier 3s or 4s and 4 tier 1s or 2s, all at +6, just by going to those 3 catacombs and 1 hero's grave. Oriza Hero's Grave might be what it's called. But yeah. Otherwise, for like +5s, okay, I need to focus. Oh yeah, I can summon these guys, sorry. I'm all good. Okay. Ouch. Get him, boys. Nice. What I like to see. Okay, good dodge. Fuck him up. Alright, I drank the wrong one. Alright, and then just keep killing him, boys. Shoot again, shoot again. Thank you very much, fellas. Take care of old boy Patches. Does give us a pretty good spear. We can't wield it, but... Yep, cool. You guys do that. Thank you very much. Alright. But yeah, that's going to get you everything you need. So just slot those guys in and you'll be able to upgrade your team. Okay, so now what I want is Twin Maiden Husks, because I'm going to be grabbing the Gold Pickle Foulfoots here. Okay, purchase. Nope. Offer a bell bearing. And bell bearing shop patches. And we're going to buy. Crap, I'm a little bit low on the old money. But that'll get us there, right? Yep, cool. And I can buy the last one. Cool. Okay, so next up, back to Fort Faroth. And we're going to be doing Grail for the huge rune dump that it's going to give us. Okay, so Grail. How do you do Grail? Well, Grail's pretty easy. You grab the flail. We can't wield it. So you put on Radigan's Saw Seal. Now you can wield it. Last thing that you want is those blood grease that we grabbed from the church earlier on. And you've got basically everything that you need. Okay, so we're just going to equip that. Double hand it, because why not? Doesn't matter because Ashes of War don't really care. Okay, we're going to grab the blood grease. Make sure we have the gold pickle foulfoots ready to go as well. Okay, do this. And then just use the crap out of the Ash of War for about 5 minutes. And that's going to take care of Grail. Giving us a huge amount of runes and enabling us to get the stats we need for some pretty strong summons. Now, I haven't actually tested yet if there's a speed difference between when you have FP to use it and when you don't. I know that it definitely still does trigger bleed, even if you're using it without FP. But I don't know if there's a slight different amount of bleed damage dealt. I think it's primarily just a damage change. But, yeah, haven't actually done a direct comparison on that. But for my own head and how I like to think of things, I prefer to primarily do it while there's FP where I can. But yeah, I don't really know that it matters at all. I know other people attack the tail. That will work just as well. For some reason, I always just come down here. I don't know why, it's just where I did it the first time and it's where I've done it ever since. I've never been attacked to date here. I also have no idea why sometimes you deal 26,000 damage on the bleed proc and other times you deal 17,000 damage. I haven't figured that out at all yet. But I'm sure there's something going on. Okay, my bleed has just run out, so I'm just going to reapply. Right, nearly there. Looks like we haven't gotten the lucky combo. There's a combo that you can get sometimes where that one will kill them. We haven't gotten that lucky this time, so it looks like we're just going to need one more rot proc in order to get there. Bleed proc. Okay. Eat the gold pickle foul foot and grab all of the runes. Okay, so that is rune dump number 1. Beautiful. Okay, and what we're going to do... What am I doing? Go to Fort Faroth. What I'm going to do is do a bit of leveling up. And then we're going to go do rune dump number 2. Now, Vigor, I typically go to 13 and dump everything else into Mind here to get to 13 and 33. It's typically what I go for, which makes sure that I can summon real strong guys. Okay, so in this one, I'm going to go and take on the Putrid Erdtree Avatar next. So we've got our pages. They're honestly going to do most of the work. The rest of the work can be done by my trusty torch. Why the heck not? Okay, and we go and find where the Spirit Spring is, which is just down here. I got 9,000 runes. Yeah, it's probably fine. Okay, so that was Grail. Next up, we have got how to beat this jerk. If you level your pages up one more level, they will go fucking insane. Crap. You want to keep his aggro. That's sort of what you're going to be going for. Okay, and what you want to do it again. Damn. Okay, now, which page have I actually got? I got the single shot page, aka the useless page. Okay, so if that happens, you basically want to respawn. Okay, just going to get rid of him. You'll see I've also removed the de-summon dialogue. I'm just going to get kind of far away. Okay, cool. Need to be careful there. Okay, try and get him to do an attack. Alright, beautiful. And then summon. Alright, and then get back in there. Oh, damn. I was still finishing the attack. Alright, so that was my bad. This guy's really not too bad to beat. I swear I've gotten better at him since last time. That was just incredibly unlucky. So just go Stake of Marika and go again. That start just didn't work out very well with him killing our better page. But they really can do most of the work. Okay, so we'll set them up. We'll get the torch. Typically the process that I follow is that I do heavy attacks. Okay, and I try and keep his rot away from my boys. And you roll real hard around his back, typically. Okay, and just try and watch his attacks. That one you can jump over. Okay, and I just run towards him and dodge roll around the back, which typically works pretty well. If he's coming this way, I come around this way. And if I get that, I'll do a little heal. Okay, so just trying to keep his rot bursts away from my guys so that they remain safe, because we do not want them to be attacked. Okay. Ooh, nice cancel, boys. Okay, so when that happens, I get on my horse every time, and you just sort of expect that you'll lose your guys here. Okay. We've got the single again, unfortunately, which is just unlucky, because he sucks. Cool, but we'll use that to de-summon him, get on our horsey, and we just, because we're using Seamless for this, there's just that little bit of a delay before we can re-summon in this mod. Okay. So I'll just watch what's going on here. Okay, summon our boys again. Use the invincibility there. Okay, take his aggression. Let the boys pummel him. Okay. Nice. They're about to take him down. So we can just get ready to throw pot. There we go. Throw pot. Catch. Beautiful. Done. Make sure we go Gold Pickle Foulfoot to get the huge boost in runes, which is going to take us to being able to grab a whole lot better summons. So that's then grabbed us most of what we need. The last thing that we want is just trying to have my brain do the thing where it does stuff. Is what I'll probably do is I'll quit out and I'll think for a second, which is what I strongly urge you to do to reduce the stress. So what you can see here is we have a heap of runes and we have only used 53 minutes of the run. We still have an hour to figure out what we want, yet I already basically have a team. I've got a Putrid Erd Tree Avatar. I didn't end up getting a Miranda Blossom, but I might go back and get one of them. Pages, strays, marionettes. I've got 5 solid guys there. And what I could do right now is take a whole team based on what I've done already to +4. And I've even got 2 guys that can go to +5, I believe. In fact, maybe it's even more that can go to +5. But what we're going to do is we're also going to just head through to Ariza Hero's Grave, because that's going to get us what we need to get to someone to tier 6 as well. There's another option for that. If you don't have time for Ariza Hero's Grave, you can go to Windham Catacombs. That has a +6 as well. However, you will need to find a Ghost 5, and a Ghost 5 is in... you can get a Ghost 5 down underground through the Shifra River Well. So you can get one there, but I typically do the run. That's why I've grabbed the Dectus halves, so that I can actually head through to Ariza Hero's Grave, unlocking Altus. As you can see, there's plenty of time for me to do that. So I'll show you that. I think it's about a 15-minute commitment there, just to get a team, but it should mean we've still got quite a bit of time afterwards that you could use to build whatever team you want. And we're going to do some runs tomorrow and the next day looking at how else we might use that time. Okay, cool. So we can jump on back in. I am going to level up. Now, your level ups here you have to start being kind of careful. Also, I died to old mate, didn't I? I died with 9,000 runes and didn't go back and pick them up, but I didn't die a second time, so I have got 9,000 runes here. I'm going to again show you, I don't want people stressed and freaking out when doing that. There'll be advanced tournaments for that kind of shit, but in this, it really is just like, chill out, you got time, do what you want, fuck up a few times, it's alright. I've definitely been in a position where I'm, against the Putrid Erd Tree when I didn't know how to beat him well. I'm stressing out because I, died to him 8 times. If that's happening to you, just go practice. Get out of your run, go in, and just verse him with a torch and nothing else until you can beat him 5 times. As I said, if you just run towards him and roll around him to the left or the right, left is typically slightly safer, but left or right does work. You can beat him very safely. It's just about getting the timing right for the dodge roll. And yeah, sort of being familiar with him and his movesets. He's not that bad. So just practice anything that's sort of making you stressed out. But you can see I can get all the way up to 242 FP here, right? And realistically, I don't need that much. But what I do need is I need 660 health. But you'll see here, that's really hard to get to. So I'm not going to bother, because if we look at how much health I actually have with my Radigan Source Seal on, I've got 598s. Actually, I only need basically 60 more, and I'm good to go. So if I just go level up, Vigor, we want 60. Okay, so that'll be like that, basically. And then there, I might just drop one down just in case the percentage thing is doing weird shit. Let's just have a look. Health 652. So yes, I would need a little bit more. It is worth remembering that you could beat Godric in your timeline, right? Um, so, but for me, just making sure I've got everything that I need, because I can actually have a look at what my team might be here. So we would have, for example, the pages, because they're obviously epic. Let's say we got strays, marionettes. We'll go. I'll pop Putrid Tree Avatar here. So basically, we're still looking for 2 members of our team. Okay, so we're gonna get them a little bit later. For now, we're going to do a bit of a run and go and get the final upgrade materials. Something else that you want to factor in is ensuring that you have enough runes in order to summon what you need. So make sure you consider the, sorry, not summon, upgrade. Because you need to factor into your route runes for upgrading, because yeah, you're going to need your 1+6, and the rest of your team +5s or 4s. And if you can't quite get to the +6, you definitely want a full team of +5s, definitely. And you would still be okay, but that 1+6, especially if it's an evolved guy, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. Gonna grab those. Another guy that is sort of, yeah, directly on the pathway is the, it's always dangerous to get, don't recommend getting it, recommend skipping it. But yeah, you could grab yourself a little Royal Revenant if you wanted. There's one right here, and, I mean, we can just have a little look. It also does give something that can be kind of useful. Okay, let's just see how pages would go against him. See the kind of time commitment we'd be willing to give here. And that damage looked pretty good. He's just missing for no reason. Anyway, I'm not going to do the time sync, but yeah, you can definitely take that guy on and add him to your team. I'm just going to go through here now, because I'm just trying to show the core route. I'm not going to bother doing that battle. Okay, we'll head up here, grab the Grace. Again, this may be a case where there is a faster way to go. For example, heading through the northeast and just going up to the Spirit Spring jump. However, there's you know, a few route opportunities by going this way. There's a few things for different routes that I'm going to show in future streams. So I'm just going this way because it enables more, whereas the other route where you just run, you don't necessarily get a few checkpoints that can be used to grab things that'll help you in other pathways you might want to follow. So here, for example, there's a site of grace there that you can grab to come back easily, depending on what you're trying to get and where. But we're just going to be grabbing the key to head through Raya Lucaria here. Try not to aggro the dragon so that we can actually teleport straight out. Okay, and we do that and just go there with what we need, and then we can teleport straight through, so it's not too big of a time sink. Okay, and yeah, I just want to show you like the amount of time that this takes so that you know what you need to factor in for getting your team. Because it's definitely a bit of a time commitment to go here, but it's nothing ridiculous. What level of mind? I think about it. It depends what your cornerstone's going to be, basically. So there's a golden seed down there if you want it to grab as well. That's worth remembering. It depends what your cornerstone summon's going to be. So your +6 if it's like a big tier 4. Godric's very expensive because his HP pool is very big. So I think you need 243 in order to summon him unevolved, and when he's evolved, he's 263. So you need a lot of mind for that. It's probably more mind than you'll actually get in this route with the runes available. But by teeing it up with Godric's Great Rune, for example, you'll have beaten him, so he's part of your route, so you go grab his Great Rune to get the extra mind. You can get there. I don't need that. So for example, right now I have 38 mind and I have 221 FP, which in this one, my cornerstone guy is just a 204. Okay, now I went the wrong way. I was supposed to show you, it's fine because I didn't actually pass it, which is nice, that there is a rune arc right here, directly on your path getting into Altus. So if you haven't grabbed one anywhere else, that's a great one. Basically a 0 time cost to grab it. And yeah, if you are using Godric's Great Rune to just get yourself to where you need FP wise, that can be very helpful. Also worth noting that while running through Liurnia, you can head into the cave on the cliffside on the left. I can't remember the name of the cave. Carrot, if you remember, maybe pop it in chat. That cave will give you... I'm just going to grab this for safety in case I want to come back. That cave will give you the FP talisman. Considering you'll have beaten Margit, you'll have gotten a talisman pouch, so you'll have room for 2 talismans. You can have that to buff your FP a little bit further. And that can hopefully get you where you need to summon a evolved Godric, but you'll want to be very careful on who you're upgrading to make sure you've got enough runes and FP and HP to summon him along with everyone else, because it can be Godric is a stretch, honestly. Actually getting to summoning Godric does strain what you can get in this route, but that there are definitely other bosses that you can beat in the time frame again, which I'll show in future streams, like Radahn, for example, who drops, I think it's 70k runes. So you gold pickle foulfoot him to get even more and keep taking your mind up. You want to just make sure you have the bare minimum HP and everything else goes into mind, where that is 38, 21 vigor, and that is boosted by the thing. Okay, so I head up here to go through. I do recommend grabbing that grace. I just didn't. I actually very strongly recommend grabbing that grace for options on where to go. Yeah, to just keep your options open, basically. Well, my cornerstone is needs more mind than my mind could handle. Right. Well, how you planning on managing to get that much mind? Okay, so I run around that rune bear because last time I tried to run past him, he murdered me. So I now run around and take the time loss. Okay, so in here you obviously get a, I want to say a lakeside crystal cave. Yep, could be right. Could be right. Yeah, you might just want to figure out some more rune dumps in your pathway, or get Marika's Scar Seal maybe. Okay, actually I was saying I recommend getting that last grace. Actually, this grace is probably a little bit more important, as it's, for example, as a little bit of a spoiler, that up there has the recipe you need if you want to evolve Morgott. So you'll want to go to that church for evolving Morgott. On the plus side, you get enough time to do a second run while you go down the Shifra elevator. Lol. Right. Yeah, that takes a long ass time. It's actually why one of the reasons why I prefer going this route. One, it gets you another chance at getting Morgott if you really want him. Takes you to Ariza's Hero Grave, which gets you a Ghost 5, a Ghost 6, and Grave 6s. So in the advanced routing, that's where we can get an entire team to 6 instead. But yes, that's where you can get a second chance at Morgott if you didn't catch him. Obviously in this one, we have 100% catch chance. So anytime you encounter him, you'll be able to catch him unless you miss the chance to throw your pot. But I would grab this to go back and get that Morgott. Morgott is strong, so I would recommend doing Ariza first in order to get the strongest summons you can before trying to take him on to add to your team. Because that, yeah, he's scaled up pretty decently, so he doesn't die super easy. Now the other one, and I'll just show it again to just show like you really do have enough time to do what you want to build your team. In my route, I'm not necessarily getting. What the hell was going on there? If I run this way, I cannot aggro those two guys to follow me and save a little bit of time going to this merchant. Okay, so this merchant is very helpful. I'll just show you. He sells golden sunflowers, which you need for Moog's evolution, and he sells the Sentry's Torch for Godric's evolution. So if you're looking at those things, that merchant is essential. And there's a couple of options straight off the bat for you to upgrade Godric and Morgott. Now, the other two that I want to make sure are options as well is Regal Ancestor Spirit. I haven't decided what I'm going to add for him, but it's probably going to be something maybe in Raya Lucaria, but maybe like early on, so you wouldn't have to go all the way to Renala. And then the other one is Renala, obviously, where you could focus on trying to get her. And she needs a Crystal Staff. Now, Crystal Staff could suck because I don't remember if there's anywhere you can get Crystal Staff apart from beating enemies that drop it and hoping for the drop. Carrot, I don't know if you know the answer to that, but yeah, she might be rough, but she's technically possible if you can get yourself a Crystal Staff. And if there is a guaranteed drop for a Crystal Staff, then all the better. Otherwise, there's little hacks you can do. The Ash drop system is actually just based on normal drop chance multipliers. So if you kill enemies that drop that staff with pots, they've got a higher chance of dropping their items. So what are we on? We're on 1 hour and 8 minutes. As you can see, I'm not being highly efficient speed running Caliber at all. And I'm already up to having a pretty solid team, and grabbing the stuff that you need to get them all leveled up. Now, one thing that I would recommend for here, sorry, I'll just show you the final thing that you need and why we grab that Stone Sword key earlier on, because the other thing that you need for Godric is the weapon that you can find in here. Okay, so the Golden Epitaph. That's what you need for getting... sorry, I think I said Godric. I meant Morgott. Okay, the other thing I recommend for here is getting the Beast Repellent Torch so that you don't have to deal with those guys because they can end up killing you. If you don't go and do that, I just recommend having spent your runes so that you can die and not give a shit. That's sort of what I would recommend for this. Crystal Staff is in the Academy Crystal Cave. Brilliant. So there you go. You've got like a surefire way to get Renala then. So that's Renala sorted. The only other one that I want to do is the Ancestor Spirit, the Regal Ancestor Spirit. If you've got any recommendations, okay, we go this way, we go here, we go in here, we grab this. Okay, we watch. We have a look. Okay, and we run down. Okay, we go around here and we grab this. Okay, and we've got everything we need there, right? So if I wanted